Hello and welcome to the podcast. Today we have Mark Salameh, who's the Chief Executive Officer of AltsAxis. The mission of AltsAxis is simple: deliver the universe of the alternative investment ecosystem in one seamless and secure platform. Sounds both super interesting and a lot to promise. Welcome, Mark.
Doug, thank you. Thank you for having me here. Very excited to be here with Advisorpedia and answer any questions you may have.
When we were getting ready for this podcast, you mentioned that nothing much has changed in the alternative worlds over the last 20 years. It's a $3 trillion industry that happens mainly behind the scenes. What sort of challenges does this present for advisors?
Yeah, I mean, what I've seen over the last 2 decades, basically, is that the alternative investment industry is still very fragmented and it operates in silos. It's difficult to source and access meaningful data on alternative products. It's either a complex, intimidating, or expensive process. And on top of all that, there's also an inherent conflict of interest. And not much has changed over the last 2 decades, from my perspective.
So tell us about AltsAxis. What is it and why did you design it?
So AltsAxis is a mobile designed central data source on all alternatives. And what I mean by all alternatives, that means private equity, hedge funds, private credit, real estate, venture capital, and central data source, and we wrap that with social network functionality. First, we try to solve the challenges we previously discussed. On top of that, we provide a complete picture of alternatives in one central data source, conflict-free. We put the controls in the hands of the users, the advisors. And on top of that, we educate them. The platform allows them to follow, connect with alternative asset managers, create model portfolios, video chat with alternative asset managers, and if they so choose to meet them in person. And when we looked at this, the industry in general, and given what we've all come out of, or hopefully are coming out of with the pandemic, it was critical for us to design this from a mobile perspective to solve some of the challenges with that we've all been experiencing, working from home, being out of the office. And quite honestly, what we see is the industry itself, while it tends to lag in adopting technology, there's been an increased usage of mobile technology. And for us, it was really important to provide a mobile platform that with no loss of user experience. And what I mean by that is typically any investment platform that you see out there, from a desktop perspective, the functionality is great. But when you take that and you bring it to a handheld display, you're losing a significant amount of functionality and data. So for us, it's really important to develop this right from the get-go.
Our audience and advisors in general are hearing more and more often about the importance of incorporating alternatives into client portfolios. Research shows that it's about 5 to 8% of their portfolios currently, but expected to grow significantly over the next 5 to 6 years. What are 3 things advisors should do when looking into alternatives?
I think the first question they should ask themselves is, where am I getting my information from, right? And then really look at that and say, where's this information coming from? And is there an inherent conflict of the information that I'm receiving? That's number one. Number two is, am I really understanding what I'm recommending to my clients? Right, that's critical. It's not just being handed a pitch deck and passing it on to your client. It's really understanding the nuances of that pitch deck, the portfolio, the investment process of that specific asset manager. So, and then the third part is, again, it's a combination of the first 2 parts. It's really educating yourself, reviewing the decks, the data, asking difficult questions, getting to know the asset manager or the firm themselves, and then really trying to understand the investment process so that you could effectively communicate that to your clients.
How does AltsAxis help facilitate that process for advisors?
I mean, what we do is we put everything at their fingertips. We provide them with educational tools. We provide them with the data that, quite honestly, is really difficult to access. It's expensive a lot of times. It's intimidating. So we put that data at their fingertips. We provide a wide range of alternative products, conflict-free, and then allow them to decide on themselves how they want to engage the asset manager. It can be as simple as, I'm just reviewing their fund information, their performance information, or maybe I'd like to follow them and add them to my model portfolio and track them over time. Or maybe I want to engage a little further and connect with them and have video chats and just educate myself some more and build more of a trust and comfort level. So it's a combination of all of that wrapped into one platform and put at their fingertips.
So you mentioned social networking, which can mean a lot of things to a lot of people. Tell us what it means at AltsAxis and why you've made it the core part of your offering.
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, social networking and AltsAxis means getting business done, plain and simple. It means educating, sourcing, and growing your network within alternatives to make you more successful, you, the advisor. It is about establishing relationships, engagement, and trust to feel confident in the investment decisions that you are making for your clients. And that's basically that is our core mission with AltsAxis, is making you more successful at your day-to-day job and confident in your investment decisions.
Where do you see the technology and data in the alternative space going in the next 5 years as you look ahead?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, where I hope to see it in 5 years is more transparency with easier points of access for allocators and asset managers. That is our mission at AltsAxis. And I hope that we are trendsetters and lead the way in this, and that the industry adopts it and accepts it.
Are you having a great time building this?
We are. We're passionate. Our team are seasoned professionals in the alternative investment industry, and we're passionate about what we do and change and affecting change for the better of the industry, and both for asset managers and for allocators. So we're really excited, and we can't wait to roll this out.
Have you shown it to advisors? What's the feedback you're getting?
The feedback is this is widely needed and welcomed, because there's a thirst, there's a hunger for knowledge when it comes to alternatives, and it's just difficult to attain that information. So for us, we want to put it out there. The industry's ready for it. Advisors are ready for it. And we understand there's a learning process, and we're there to guide them through that process. And we're really excited to work with advisors.
Well, I understand advisors want the transparency and they're ready for it, but are the providers ready for it? Because it's been such a secret industry for so long. Are they eager to get more transparent and have their products have more access to advisors?
I absolutely think so, because it only benefits them as much as it benefits the advisors. Adding a transparency is just another way to communicate effectively your value proposition to allocators. And I think we're making it easier for the asset managers as well as to source potential allocators as well, including advisors, because look, not one size fits all, and that's on both sides. So, when you enter and you start, for instance, start dating and you start really finding out more about one another, you might decide, I do not want to enter into a long-term relationship here because we're just not right for one another. And that applies to both sides. And what this platform really does is it educates them and allows them to decide, are we right for one another?
Yeah, it sounds great. Where can advisors learn more and even see it?
Yeah, please visit AltsAxis.com or follow us on LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. We are in beta right now. You could apply to be a beta tester, and we will be rolling out the platform industry-wide early this fall.
We really appreciate you joining us today. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Doug.
Please follow us for all the latest updates on Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook, all at Advisorpedia. For everybody at Advisorpedia, our producer, Jakey Beard, and the Power Your Advice podcast team, this is Doug Heikkinen.